What up, y'all? How's it going? BenDeen here, and today I'm going to be making and eating some Budae, aka Korean army base stew. I picked up this from the local mart for about $5, and it's everything you need to make Budae. It's enough for 3 people, and so that's an incredible deal. Usually you don't eat this by yourself. You kind of eat this with a lot of people, or sometimes as an anju, like an alcohol side dish. I'll tell you a little bit more about this dish as I go on, but for now, let's just open this up and see what's inside. Essentially, it's a kind of a spicy pork or kind of a ham stew, and it's a kind of a fusion dish. So inside we have ramen, just the noodle part, and then we have some spam. This is the spam edition. We have some like green onions maybe, and some onions here. We also have some kimchi, crucial. And over here we have a bunch of different kinds of like hot dogs and sausages and ham. Supposedly 4 different kinds in here. Last but not least, baked beans. This is kind of a weird addition, you might think. They didn't really give me too many, but it should be good. We have a couple of like sauce packets. This is some kind of, I'm not sure exactly, it doesn't really say, some kind of spice packet, but it's very liquidy. It's basically like a liquid. And then we have one last thing of like broth over here. This is some kind of beef broth, I believe. You gotta add everything in except the ramen noodles. You hold on to that for later. You add everything in, and then you add 300 milliliters of water. And then you cook it for a couple minutes, add the ramen, cook it for a few more minutes, and then you're good to go. Oh. So it looks like we have, various types of hams, and looks like some hot dogs, like sausages, and more like, these are shaped like pepperonis. This is the worst fry pan, by the way. I need to upgrade. I've never really done anything like this before. This is kind of like cooking for noobs. In goes the kimchi. Now I'll tell you what, these ingredients, they're not like, obviously they're in these like vacuum sealed bags, so it's not the most freshest ingredients that you can find, but pretty fresh it seems like. Some spam. That wild card ingredient. And I guess I'm just gonna plop them down right here. Again, not many beans. Alright, going in. It smells pretty spicy. And last, it says to add some water, so that's what I'm gonna do. I got 300 milliliters here. Maybe I'll do like 270. And now let's turn it on and cook it up. I do have an electric kind of induction cooktop here, so I'm just gonna put it on full blast. Right now I'm gonna apologize for the sound because I know it's gotta be kind of whack right now. I'm gonna try to do my best to like talk into the mic, but usually I don't have to worry about that. This thing has a loud fan though. Everything looks to be pretty evenly distributed. I'm gonna wait until this boils, and I'll catch you back here in a minute. Alright, I finally got a little boil going on. That took forever, but I'm gonna go ahead and add this ramen in here, wait for another 3-4 minutes, and then start eating. This is just a regular brick of ramen. Just gonna toss it right in. Alright, so it's been about 3 or 4 minutes. I think the ramen is fully cooked. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. I think even if you turn off this model of a hot plate, the fan will still keep running to try to cool it off, but again, sorry for the sound. Hopefully it's okay. Let me give you a close-up real quick and then dig right in. Looking pretty good, smelling pretty good. Let's get into this. I'm gonna try out the ramen first. Hopefully I cooked it well enough, or not, and not too much. Yeah, that's good right there. Woo. All right, classic Budae. I haven't had this in a while. Try out some sausage. It's so classic. Some kimchi. A lot of pretty strong flavors going on in this. Very spicy, or not, I wouldn't say very spicy, but a good amount of spice. Salty, savory. The kimchi, if you eat that alone, it'll give you that sourness. Some deep flavors with that broth. Really made it kind of gave it some depth to it as well. Man, I wish I had some soju right now. I'll tell you that. Whenever I eat this kind of food, like I said, this is kind of it's an alcohol side dish. So you go to this like establishment and you just get soju, beer, something like this. You're with your buddies and you all just, you know, drink and eat this at the same time. Usually you'll have something called an apjopshi, which is like a little bowl that you can all, so you're not all hovering over the pot and eating like that, you know. I don't have a bowl. I have this little paper plate, which I might use here in a minute, but since it's just me, I'm not really worried about it too much. Very hot temperature wise too. Very fresh. I love the fact that they put in so many types and a lot of different meats in here, or just like a lot of meat. There's a lot of sausage, the spam, the ham. That spam is killer too. With the ramen in here, like that's a good combo, I'll tell you what. It's hot though. It's hot. Don't want to burn my mouth too bad, but man, on a cold day in Korea, drinking some soju or some beer. I'll just say soju actually, because soju tastes bad. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If you don't know soju, it's like the Koreans. I would say vodka is to Russia as soju is to Korea. Cheap. It'll mess you up. Everyone drinks it. But it tastes bad. It tastes horrible. So a lot of times, you know, if you're drinking soju, you want something kind of strong to clear your palate. Something like this will do it very well for you. This'll, man, it's just a great combo. I don't know. So originally, I'm gonna try to explain a little bit of history about this dish. Like I said, it's kind of American Korean fusion. I think it was invented in Korea around like the Korean War time, so quite a long time ago. And I'm not sure exactly why, but Korean people started to use like American food supplies, stuff like canned stuff, baked beans. That's where you get the spam and the hot dogs and stuff. And, you know, you cook it up with like a lot of the Korean spices. Gochujang, like red chili paste. And you got the kimchi in here. I think potatoes would actually be a good combo in this, but it's not something that's typically done with Budae or the army-based stew. And yeah, I think, you know, everyone, I don't think they were like thriving economically at the time, so they just had to eat what they could get. They just kind of threw everything into the pot, kind of like stone soup. I don't know if you ever heard of stone soup. You just throw what you got into a pot and then eat it up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is if you go to a Korean restaurant in America, I'm not sure if they'll have something like this, but you can definitely find it a lot around here. And it's definitely like, I wouldn't consider it like my go-to. Like, if I'm gonna have a night out, I wouldn't get this for dinner, but I'd get it for like the after party, like the after party. Because in Korea, I think I've explained this a few times, the drinking culture here is, well, for the most part, you always got to eat when you're drinking. You always have to have some food, anju, side dishes. So a lot of the bars around here, they require you to order some kind of food, like the Korean style bars. And also, it's pretty common to bar hop a lot. So you go to the first place, and the second place, and the third place, and they call it like 1차, 2차, 3차, 4차. You just like add the number and then cha at the end. But usually, you know, I'll last until like maybe 4차, like the fourth place, and then I think around there, or maybe the next place, this is like the perfect wind down before you go home type of food. Especially if you're drinking a lot of soju. And like I said, usually you're gonna have, you know, all your buddies, 2, 3, 4 people, all sharing this with you. So it's not like you have to. It's not like you're eating until you're full, you know. You know, I'm not sure if I can eat all this. I'm not sure if I want to eat all this, but it's some good stuff, man, I'm telling you. Especially on a cold winter's night. I'm sweating. I got a good sweat working up. If you're an OG, you might be thinking, BenDeen, that looks like ramen. You say you're not the biggest ramen fan. That's true, but one of the reasons why, like cup ramen, like convenience store ramen, one of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan is because it's just like there's no texture, there's no like varying textures, there's no various flavors, unless you add stuff separately, you know. And that's the reason why I really do like and appreciate this, because you're getting a lot of different varying textures and flavors. With the meats and the vegetables. I would say, and also ramen can, for me, like it depends how much spice of the spice packet you put in there, but it's too much salt and like just, yeah, I don't know, it's too much for me. And this seems a lot less toned down, but a lot more deeper in like complex flavors compared to ramen. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but this would be great if you go camping. I do want to go camping someday. I've never like really been legit camping, but I've always been fascinated by that kind of stuff. You know, Survivor Man, that show that played a few years ago. Man vs. Wild. That was alright, but that was just like too much kind of sometimes. Like when I saw him bite into a zebra that was lying there, like this dude went up to a zebra in the safari that was dead and just started taking bites out of it. Like Bear Grylls, man, he's insane, but I do respect him. No, the most I've ever done is just like camped out in the backyard, or camped at like a public campground, something like that. I've never been in the wilderness with just like me in nature, which is something I want to do. And my bad to anyone who hates slurping sounds, but I gotta tell you, one in Rome. That's all I gotta say. You can't eat this without slurping a little bit, or a lot, actually. It's all about them slurps. What I don't get is some people like in Korea, they'll slurp up a hamburger. I've seen it more times than I'd like to admit. Like, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. And you probably won't unless you witness it in person, but I'm telling you, people in Korea be slurping up hamburgers somehow. You hear the sound. And you see the vacuum shape over their mouth. You know they're ready to inhale that, and you're like, whoa, wait a second. A hamburger, like, that's a pretty easy, a clean eat, you know? For the most part, unless it's like a chili burger. Like, that's what the buns are for, to make it like a clean to eat. Yeah, there's some juicy burgers out there, but I don't know. My favorite part about this, though, hands down, the Spam and the ramen combo. Got some Spam right here. Spam's good. I think though, on this one, usually when I'm eating something like spaghetti and meatballs, or some like chicken fettuccine, or something like a beef stew, I'm always complaining that there's not enough meat in it compared to the carbs or the whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Or like curry. I'm always like, man, it's really good, but I wish there was just more meat in that part compared to as much like pasta, noodles, rice, bread, whatever there is. But this one, there's like almost too much meat. I think I ate all the ramen pretty much. But yeah, you might think this looks strange, but it's really not weird flavors. Not like super Asianified or like, you know, it's Korean American fusion. So yeah, I think a lot of you guys would probably like this. If you ever come across it, I'd recommend it. Some of my foreign friends, I think a couple of them, like this is like their favorite go-to Korean either meal or something that you eat when out drinking or whatever. Excuse me. And I think there's also different variations of this as well. I'm telling you, potatoes in this would actually take it up to the next level. I think I ate all the meat as well. So I think I'm gonna call it a day for now. I think the rest is just, I'd have to be picking it out like one by one, so I'm not about that. Oh, finally the fan turned off right when I'm gonna end my video, but that's about it for this one. Before I end it, I want to give a shout out to Jenna. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon. Really big shout out to you, Jenna. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Oh, that silence is golden. This fan, man, real loud. I don't know why that's so loud.